morning, everybody. Hope everyone is having a great day. It is about 7:30 on a Friday morning. Dom and I decided to come on and make this video real quick. So we're getting ready for a podcast.
We're doing a podcast.
A podcast, yeah. So we're getting ready for a podcast, something that that God laid in our heart to do. We tried to run from it for a minute.
Right.
Like, what was your stance? Like, whenever I told you, hey, babe, God said do a podcast, like, where were you at whenever?
Like, did God really say? I don't know. I just kind of felt like, that's not me. That's not us. You know, I felt like that space was already occupied by a lot of people. Just saying a lot of things, and what I never want to do is just be out talking for the sake of talking and just making noise.
Yeah.
And so I think that was my biggest thing. Like, do we have something to say?
Yeah.
That's valid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely think we have something to say because it's going to be a marriage-based podcast, and we love all things marriage.
Yeah.
And so I think for Dom, her stance has always been like, I don't want to be fake.
Yeah.
Right? And like, even when we have to sit down and do our marriage small group that we do at our church, when certain topics come about, she's like, I don't want to be fake. So like, how much can we share? I'm like, man, share it all, because you never know. Right. It may be a blessing to someone. And so
transparency is big.
Yeah. That's really big for us. And that's going to be something that you guys can expect from this podcast is transparency, openness, and our vulnerability, man. Just sharing our story. And so we won't get into how long we've been married and this, and how we met. This isn't that video. This video is just to really invite you into the space that will be the hub of the podcast recording. And so this room now is our home gym. As you can see, it gets more use from Dom than it does me. But I'm on my way. I'm on my way with the help of the Lord. Come on. But no, so what we're doing, we're just transforming this space into the podcast. And so all the equipment that you see, I'm not sure how big the view is, but we have a water roller, we have dumbbells, we got this big monster behind us, and we got the what is that thing over there called, babe?
The Smack Trainer?
Yeah.
The Bowflex?
Yeah, the Bowflex, the Hex bar, some more stuff over there. But all this equipment is going to be moved to one side of the room, and this.
Hopefully.
Huh?
I said hopefully.
I mean, I'm going to make it work. I mean, I see it.
You got the vision. I'm just riding. I'm riding.
Yeah.
I'm riding.
And so usually that's her stance. Like, in whatever we do, like, I said, babe, this is how we're going to do it. She's like, hey, if you see it, I'm sure she's like, sometimes it actually happens that way. And sometimes she's like, I ain't see it happen that way anyway. But rock with me on this one. Like, rock with me. So, and so that's usually how she rocks with me. She just kind of lets me go, and then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, she don't give me too hard of a time. But
I give you credit. Some of your stuff is way out there, but it usually comes together. So
hey,
you're good at what you're good at.
Hey,
and I'm good at being like, okay.
Hey.
So
Molly girl, come here. Say hey to the people. Since you were here walking around and everything, come here, girl. This is our Molly pool.
This is really John's baby.
And this is my baby.
This is really his baby.
My precious little girl. She's sweet as she wanna be, man. Like, y'all gonna get y'all one of these. If y'all
get one of these.
Come get one of these. Like, if she is
It's a
everything.
Molly girl.
Hey, Molly girl. All right, we're busy, okay? So we'll talk later. All right, okay, bye. She's like, no, we're not done yet. Okay. And so this corner over here is basically where the podcast set is going to be. So we're only using half of the room for the podcast set. And so this video is really just to show you the space where it's starting. And so today we have paint happening. And so Dom is getting ready to go to work. And so I'm off today. And so I gotta get everything off the walls, out of the way. And so my guy can get by here and get this painting done. And so next week we'll be on vacation.
Yes.
Taking a family vacation to Orlando, getting out of here, taking the kids, getting away for some much needed R&R. So we're super excited about that.
Very excited. I'm more excited than my kids.
Yeah,
They haven't said a word about it.
Yeah.
I'm counting down.
Yeah. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Like SpongeBob?
I'm ready. So we're leaving out. Actually, today's Friday, so we leave out Monday morning.
Yeah.
Monday morning heading to Orlando. So we're super excited about that. Just really just trying to get reset.
Yeah.
And clear our mind, clear our hearts, and go ahead and give our family the necessary time that they need, because we know we get back and it's boots on the ground. We gotta make this happen. And so it actually fell perfectly. I mean, we didn't even plan it that way. Like the vacation was already planned, and we were just kind of like, all right, let's start a podcast. Let's start a podcast. So we're doing it, but it fell perfectly. So we'll have the opportunity to get paint done today, get a vacation next week, clear our minds, man, and hopefully, hear from God while we're, out and about. Just
I was gonna say that too. Like, even though we're vacationing, just opening and building ourselves, it's still here.
Yeah.
So we still have some things that we need some direction on.
Yeah. So like, we don't have all the answers to this thing yet.
But we're moving our feet.
We're moving. I mean, God still hasn't given me a name for it yet, or we're giving us a name for it yet. We got some ideas, but I'm one of those people that's like, all right, God, I want this to be all you. Like, whatever, you told me to do it, but I want you to pick the wall color. I want you, God. I want you to tell me what we're gonna call it. God, tell me what type of mic stand to buy. And I know God doesn't work that way, but that was my expectation when we first got into this. But we're moving now, and I believe that He's gonna meet us at the place of us moving.
For sure.
Yeah. Something that my pastor always says, that God gives you more on the way than He does just getting started.
Yeah.
And so we believe that, and so we're getting started. So I told Dom, I was like, listen, so whatever God has to say, He got to tell me why I'm moving. That's my stance. Like, we're moving. So if he want me to pivot, slow down, speed up, turn left, turn right, it's going to have to all be said while we're moving, because we're going, man. We heard the voice of God, and so we're going. So it fell perfectly, like I was saying, give us opportunity to really kind of disconnect from life for a little bit, really just pour into our kids, man, love on them. So we're just getting out of graduation season. We had 2 graduates this year, so super excited about that. One from Bishop, one from Davidson. So super proud of our babies. And so just kind of get away with them, man, for a little bit. And I think one thing that we've learned was we hear the best from God whenever we're pouring and leaning into each other. Whenever we're pouring into our family, if I'm ever having a hard time getting a message together, it's just not clicking, the notes isn't coming, the flow isn't flowing. I've learned that if I put it down and just spend time with her, whenever I get done with time with her, it's like the floodgates open and all the revelation knowledge just begins to come. And so that's something, again, that I learned from my pastor, but just learning how just to disconnect sometime and lean into some of the most important people in our lives, which is our spouses and our children. So that's what we're doing this week, so that we can come back on the following week, man, and hit the ground running. Our goal is to have this thing up and running for you guys by the end of the year, man. And so,
well, it's interesting you say that, even too, about family time and connecting, and our son's on board to help us out.
And so I don't know what the correct terminology would be, but Landon's going to be our engineer for the podcast.
Hey, call him an engineer.
Call him an engineer, man. You know, so he's going to be the one that's going to be operating sound and cameras and lighting, and so we're going to get him the proper training. I mean, it's going to be a family affair, man. He was worried about on his job. He was like, "Hey, Dad, you know, man, they ain't giving me, you know, enough hours and stuff like that." I was like, and so he was saying like, you know, I should go find somewhere else to work at. I said, well, son, I mean, you do got favor on your job as far as like whenever we need to take off and vacation and stuff like that. So I was like, no, just stay where you at. And I thought about it. I was like, hey, man, you know what? I'm going to bring you in on this podcast thing. Right. So it's good that you're not getting the hours because I need your time. And I was like, you know, Dad and Dawn, we're going to take care of you. Right. So don't worry about what you're not making. We're going to make up the difference in what you do for us. And so it's going to be a family up there, man. And so we're super excited about that, man. I love our kids.
Man.
I think we got some amazing kids, man. Like, you know.
They beg a lot.
They be begging.
They be begging.
They be begging.
Yeah. With no restraint.
With no restraint. They be begging, man.
But I do.
I'm so grateful that God has lended us some amazing kids, man. And so we'll get more into that, man. You know, you guys will be able to meet our babies and we'll bring them in because, you know, of course this is about marriage, but I mean, kids are a part of marriage, you know, in some way. And so we're super excited for them, super excited for their journeys and their paths, man. So yeah, we'll dive deeper into that. So but yeah, this is kind of where it is. We're excited about, like I said, paint's happening today. And then when we get back, we have equipment to order. We got lighting. And the hardest thing that we're having issues with, man, is furniture.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like,
well, I think it's the color, babe, really. Or is it more the style?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's a little bit of both because, I mean, I think we have a certain style and a certain color that we're looking for when it comes to like chairs and tables and stuff like that. And man, we're having a hard time with that. So,
and somebody's very particular.
Who, Molly?
You know she be particular.
She said I'm particular. But I mean, I want it to be nice, man. I want it to be nice. I believe if we're going to do something, like, if we can't do it big, like, don't do it. And so, but yeah, man. So yeah, we just wanted to invite y'all along for the journey. And so y'all stay tuned, stay connected with us. Keep praying for us because we need it. But we're going to do this. We're going to do this for the glory of God. We're going to do this for you because marriage needs this. I watched several marriage podcasts, and there are some good ones out there, and there are some other ones that I'm like, ooh.
Did God really say?
Did God call you to this?
Yeah.
Or you just wanted to do something? Like, I don't know. But no shade, but I think marriage is too important for people to just be winging it. Absolutely. Like, you know, if you're being a voice for the institution of marriage, mm-hmm. and you're speaking to married couples, right. This has to be something that you are equipped and that you are called to do. Mm-hmm. It can't just be something that you want to do because you think it's the hottest thing on the scene right now. Please don't be out here messing people up like that.
Or you take advantage of people's vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I think that's an easy space to be in. Like, you see that people are really trying and really searching for something and searching for answers on how to make this work and what it should look like. I was listening to a podcast just a few days ago, mm-hmm. and the young lady said, she said, and I'm paraphrasing, I wanna be married. She's like, but I've never seen a successful marriage. Yeah. What does it look like? How do I operate? How do I move as a wife? What does a proper spouse or proper wife look like? And so I could tell that she was sincere. So then back to those people who host a podcast or who have podcasts around the topic, it's like they see the vulnerabilities. Yeah. And some of them, not all, like you said, take advantage of the fact that people are just searching for something.
Yeah. You know? So they're like, well, we're married, so let's talk about it. Yeah. I mean, I have a car, but I'm not gonna have a mechanic podcast because I know nothing about them other than keep gassing them, keep the maintenance done, and make sure you come to a complete stop before you, you know, change gears.
Right.
Check here. And so that's all I know about vehicles. And so with that being said, that would be a 1 episode podcast basically.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about marriage because we spend time eating the word. We spend time watching podcast. We spend time, listening to teaching from our pastor, from people like Dr. Michael Moore, who's an amazing teacher on the subject of marriage. Miles Monroe, which I think by far is the GOAT, if you would, when it comes to marriage. And so, with that being said, man, we are excited. We're ready. We're getting moving. And so, this is just a little video just to bring you guys in on the journey. So, stay tuned, stay connected, and let's get ready for some exciting things to come. We love you guys, and thank you so much. Y'all have an amazing day.